sent me to Denver when I was 15. I guess I was around 14 and some change, entering 15 years old. I started getting into some trouble, you know what I mean, more down south. And I remember when she first sent me back from Denver when I was young, she was like, my dad and her had so much going on. She wanted me to come back to the South. She felt like, I wasn't safe, if so much was going on. Then after me being in the South for a minute, she felt like, man, you just getting into too much trouble. I need to send you back to Denver, you know what I mean? But I went back, family, and while I was up there, I probably stayed with my dad maybe the first week. And then I was basically homeless, you know what I mean? I was living on the streets and just hustling, trying to figure it out. And I remember I met a couple homies that was from Montbello's, and I forgot this area. I can't think of the name of these apartments at the moment, but I don't even know if they still there or not. But I had a guy named Little T that stayed in these apartments. And I remember, meeting a couple guys, just running the streets, man. Like we ran the streets from night to day, you know what I mean? I didn't have a place to go. I wasn't trying to go there. I remember going to some shelters, eating and spending the night, and they thinking I'm gonna stay there and I'll run off the next day, you know what I mean? I was just out there, fam. But I was finding my way, you know what I mean? And I remember I ran across this prostitute one time. And I'm sharing this story because I think that our young kings, the younger generation, young men and women, especially our young men, we don't really train them in the direction they should go. We kind of just want them to be men and drop them out here in relationships and put them out here without giving them any valuable jewels to kind of help them make some, you know, better decisions when it comes to relationships and when it comes to dealing with, with women or vice versa. But especially, like I say, our young men. So I'm sharing the story to enlighten you some of my experiences, but what I learned from going through this experience. So I met this prostitute. This lady had to be, I'm gonna say she was probably in her 30s, and I was, in my early teens. So she was at least in her 30s for sure. And when I met this lady, it wasn't on no hookup, trying to holler at her. She wasn't like, you see some prostitutes, they like real provocative when you see them. She wasn't real provocative, like clothes, just riding up her butt, stuff like that. She had a different type of hustle, you know what I mean? So she wasn't really out there like that, but she was a prostitute. She told me what she did. And I remember, I forget, I met her giving her a light. And she was telling me that I looked too young to be smoking, you know what I mean? And just hold a conversation. And needless to say, she invited me over to where she was staying at. She had I want to say it was a motel room. You can rent them like apartments at this time in Denver. And she invited me over there to smoke and end up, telling me I could sleep on her couch, while I do whatever. She was just like, at certain times, I try to have calls or whatever through certain times. So during this time of the day, it won't be good to be here. But after this time, it'll be good. You can come back. I won't have no one here after this certain time. So that way, we can just chill and relax and you can just, kick your feet up, get some rest. So she was more like a mother figure, you know what I mean? She really taught me a lot about the streets, you know what I mean? From a woman's aspect, being out there because, it's more dangerous because, she had faced some times she had got raped and things happened where she wasn't trying to even do anything that kind of influenced her to do what she do. Sometimes we see people, women especially, and we see them doing certain things and we wonder like, man, why they doing this? Not knowing that it might have been an uncle or a cousin or somebody, a family or something that raped them and messed their mind up and they start doing this and then relationships didn't work and then it went on and on and on. You see my dog down here trying to get my attention, family. But anyways, um, So what happened was, what do you want? You see, she just distracted me. What do you want? You know, you see, I'm trying to do a video real quick. Give me a second. I just took out, so I know she ain't got to use the bathroom. But needless to say, though, she taught me a lot about, you know, relationships and like being in one and what it means actually to be faithful and what it means to be loyal. And I want to share this because sometimes I think we have that concept like backwards. We look at things wrong. You know, we think if a person say, "Hey, I'm gonna give you my body," and you know, this is yours, and but don't do anything else, and even do other deceptive things to you to destroy you. You think, well, they was faithful to me, and then you have someone that you might say that you don't control their body, so to speak, but they're loyal to you. You know, to me, loyal is something that, you know, they had an old proverb to pretty much say that you have a person who would work hard when the boss come around, and when the boss is gone, kick his feet back. So he faithful to his eyes, but behind his back, he ain't got no loyalty. He doing his own thing. So loyalty is something that is unseen, and loyalty can be mixed with faithfulness as well. But a lot of times it's like a thin line from what I learned. You know, I learned just from her that a woman could sleep with 20 men at one night and come home to one man that she loved and faithful, that she want to take care of, she want to look out for. And it has nothing to do with sex. Or sometimes it just be that you have a bond or relationship, but it has nothing to do with him pleasing her like that. You know what I mean? And truth be told, you know, it's a mean pill to swallow, but life is what it is. You know, I think of Samson and Delilah. When you think about them two and their story, you know, it kind of shows you the core difference of what it means to be faithful and loyalty. You know, Samson was coming to her, you know, and she was faithful every time he needed her. She was faithful, but she wasn't loyal to him. She kept asking him, man, you every time you need me, you know, I let you come lay your head down, but you won't tell me no secrets. And soon as she knew what was needed, she told him. You know, he ended up meeting his demise, getting his eyes poked out and his hair cut. So sometimes you can have as they say, the kiss of the enemy can be deceitful. Faithfulness can be something that a person can use to deceive you versus loyalty, you know, really having your back and you trying to put obligations on loyalty. Like, well, I thought you need to do this and do this, but that might not be loyalty. You know, loyalty is something that will literally die for you. You know what I mean? It's like death before dishonor. You know what I mean? Like loyalty stands like that, and it might have some blemishes. You know what I mean? So you have to be aware of what you want, and you also have to be aware of what you're dealing with. Being able to recognize the difference between loyalty and faithfulness, and when you're dealing with a relationship, being able to ask yourself the truth, you know, that truthful question, like, what do you really want? You know what I mean? And I done been in relationships where I done had a relationship with a woman literally said, you know, I felt like she wasn't giving her body away to anybody, but I didn't have her mind. You know what I mean? She was somewhere else, you know what I mean? But she could say, but I'm not cheating on you, but you're not helping building the team. You're taking from us, you know what I mean? And sometimes I wonder, and it bothered me, like, man, what is going on? You know, and then it wasn't loyalty, it was faithfulness, you know. And me being grown, being 42 years old, if I had to pick between the two, I would pick loyalty over faithfulness, you know what I mean? Because loyal people gonna always have you back. You know, it's like constructive criticism, you know what I mean? You gotta take the good with the bad, you know what I mean? A lot of times we just want to take the good, but we gotta take both of them. We gotta take the good with the bad, the bitter with the sweet. And I learned that from her. You know, like I said, we didn't have no sexual intercourse, and she was more like a mother to me. Like she really gave me some game. She showed me some things not to do, and she showed me how to do some things, but it was never on no sexual level. She was more like a mother. But this prostitute, you know, really reached out and grabbed me and helped me at a time of my life where I was lost for a few months. And this was before I actually created my daughter. which is about to turn 25. I actually met her mom once I finally got it together, and I was still young, but I had got it together though. I had my own at that time. I was young at 15 years old. At 16, right before I got locked up, I had my own vehicle, place to stay, clothes, doing my own thing, you know what I mean? But I had to go through a point where I had to figure it out too, you know what I mean? I thought people that's supposed to have been faithful to me let me down. Sometimes the people that you would think that'll be faithful would turn their back on you. You know what I mean? Or put you in a messed up situation, and then it was some strangers sometimes. It's always crazy how it's the Samaritan, so to speak, that would see you on the side of the road, bruised and damaged, and stop and see how they can help you. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna be honest with you, fam. I was that, that person laying on the side of the road, and that prostitute came through there and helped me. She taught me something I'll never forget. Never forget. You know what I mean? And I was in Denver at the time. And it's crazy how angels can come and people will judge people for their background, what they went through. But one thing I learned about this lady, she taught me what loyalty was. And she showed me what love was, what unconditional love, without having attachments. I couldn't judge her for what her choices was to do with her body. But she showed me what loyalty was. She showed me, hey, this is what it means to be down with somebody. You know what I mean? This is what it means to have somebody's back. And, to this day, I use that. So I can only share it with the younger generation because, there's so much delusional out here, so many toxic relationships. They even got songs talk about toxic women, and they think, they embracing it now like it's a thing or something. Don't waste your time, young king, in a toxic relationship. You know what I mean? And also, don't try to turn every relationship into a lifetime relationship. Some relationships are just meant for you to learn from, to grow from, to have a good bond, be friends, and move on. Everybody you meet throughout your journey in life isn't meant for you to hold on to and keep like that, so to speak. It might be they was meant to sharpen you. Iron sharpens iron, or was meant to humble you. God said he will allow the food to be digested by the woman. The woman will get the food. That's why I'll always learn that the man who tends to run from his calling most of the time end up falling into the snares of a woman. Think about it. Go back in history. So, we have to just be wise, man, to know, what it means. What it means to be a man, what it means to be faithful, what it means to be loyal, and to cherish those relationships that you have, no matter how you run across them or how you meet certain people. So let me ride. Hope y'all be blessed and enjoy your great Monday. I want to say good rising to everyone. I think my dog need to go out, so I'm going to cut this short. Y'all get your hog on, Black Feniks.